Hi everyone, Winter Night here with a book to movie comparison video. Please note that there will be spoilers for some certain things. I prefer that you guys do go and read. The actual age range for this book to introduce is between 11 and 15, which I 100% agree with. If you want to introduce younger children, have an adult read the book first and what you judge for yourselves. So there are themes in this book that young ones should not really, in my opinion, shouldn't really read about, because there's no massive violence, but there's still stuff in it that I'm like, your parents, please read the book if you want anyone under 11 years old. Okay, there are spoilers in the book. There are spoilers for the book and the movie. I'm talking about comparisons. I'm not going to give everything away. I'm talking about I'm going to talk about three things. Three things from that is different from the book to movie. But also I'm going to talk about some things that I've also learned. The author Cornelia has done, some of her other books have been adapted. And there's actually pretty much a notable exception, and I'm like, wow, I actually forgot who wrote that book. But I will get into that later on. But for this video, it is about Thief Lord, and then at the end, I will talk about her other works, as well as another surprise I learned. So I'm excited to cover pretty much to cover her future books, as well as movies and that. So anyway, so The Thief Lord is a story about street children living in Venice, Italy. They are intertwined with mystery, intrigue, and long forgotten secrets. The book and movie cover themes of family, friendship, and youth and age. And there is a character death in the book. It is not included in the movie, which I am happy about. That was not included. You can watch the movie in full on YouTube. Link is down below in the description. So please or go and buy a copy for yourself, because I would love it if you support the studio that created the movie. So yeah. So going into the characters, going into the actual comparison, there are sort of three differences. The top left character is Ernesto Barbarossa. In the book, he is described to have a red beard. He is commonly referred to as Ernesto, a red beard, as like a nickname essentially. Barbarossa, where in the movie he is more times than not called by his surname, which I still love. Either way, it's still fun. And yes, Aaron Taylor Johnson he is in this movie, as you can see. He plays the brother of Bo. Now, in the book, Bo is actually 5 years old. In the movie, he mentions directly that he is 6 1/4. Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Prosper. And the two are essentially on a run from their aunt and uncle, who really just want to gain an inheritance, essentially, that these two hold. Or essentially what Bo has. I'm not going to get into all that stuff. And the character death in the book does hit hard. But in the movie, you kind of have sort of like you want to dislike him, then you want to like him. But at the same time, I actually do adore the character. Now, in the book, it is actually Hornet, who is not pictured because I could not get a screenshot properly, that introduces Prosper and Bo to the Thief Lord, aka skip. And the final thing, which is actually I think number 4 or number 5, which I forgot by accident, the actual magical elements of the book is actually introduced a bit earlier than they were introduced in the book. They were introduced later on. I actually did like that you kind of got the trickle of what the magical elements was, and it was fantastic. The acting, of course, okay, there are some parts I'm like, really? Why are you doing that? But a lot of the acting is on par, especially for the kids. The kid actors did a fantastic job with the material that they were given. I love this movie. I would love it if you enjoy the movie and read the book. Now, Cornelia. I am going to talk about the author now and other notable works. I forgot that she wrote a trilogy of books. There are others, but this trilogy actually has one movie adaptation to it that stars the wonderful Brendan Fraser. And I am talking about Inkheart. The 3 books, of course, as you can see, is Inkheart, Inkspell, Inkdeath. I love these books. I haven't read them in years. I actually haven't seen a movie in years. But I do remember that my mum and I actually went and saw the movie in cinemas back in 2009, 2010, one of those. Because the movie came out in 2009. Now, I will probably cover this later on this year or next year. I'll love to get into this trilogy because this trilogy, I want to fall back in love with it. And I love her work. Her writing is stunning. Now, the latest adaptation that I learnt about, now I seen the posters for it here. I saw it in the cinemas that once they opened, and I saw there's no real previews of it that I saw on TV. I didn't actively search it out, but Cornelia wrote the book called Dragonrider. The movie was released last year. I don't think I've actually finished the book, but now I am aiming to go and watch it because it actually looks like a fun, goofy movie. I like watching some. I love dragons. Dragons are awesome. Now, so I'll cover that later on. I wish I could tell more about this book, but I actually don't know that much about it, and I can't remember it because it has been years since I've actually read it, and I don't think I actually finished the book, which is unfortunate. Now, final thing before I get into the end, essentially, I learned that the wonderful director of Pan's Labyrinth, Del Toro, I cannot pronounce his last name. I cannot pronounce his first name. For the life of me. I've tried many times. He asked Cornelia to write the book based on the movie. And the book was released in 2019. I am now hoping to get the book because Pan's Labyrinth for me is fantastic. I love the imaging, essentially, the sets, the design of the creatures, and the costumes are amazing. And of course, Doug Jones, you've got the eyes, the hands on the eyes, which are fantastic. So I will be covering that book, movie book, sometime later on. So I got a lot of work for myself. But please go and enjoy Thief Lord. If you cannot find it, the link to the playlist of all of the whole movie is down below. And I reckon I'm going to post in the community tab of my channel on what book movie comparison you want me to do next. Now, I wish I could have, you know what? I'll do a second spoiler one once I got my scanner up and going, because I want to actually take scans of some really cool things from the book. And also talk about some scenes, so I actually insert some scenes from the movie. So that's really going to go into spoiler territory. So I want to do that eventually. So I reckon I'll leave that for at least a couple of months. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. And yes, I will get better at doing these videos, and I'm getting quite good at working out OBS. So if you've got any comments down any questions, go put them down in the comments down below. And make sure if you are a parent, you want your children to read it, the age range recommended for the book is between 11 and 15 years old. If you have kids younger than 11, please read the book first and make your own judgment. But I do suggest, like, pretty much kids above 10 years old can watch the movie, because there's some really cool little, it's a mystery intrigue movie. It's fantastic. I think that's pretty much everything. But like and subscribe, and let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments down below. Thank you again, and this has been Tonight, signing off for the night. Bye everyone.